Me 26, my GF 24F is pregnant, but I am sterile. I am from a sea country, and my first language is not English. Backstory: I got into an accident after my college, and will never be able to have kids. None of my family members know of this. They know about the accident, but not about this. I have always wanted to be child-free, so it did not affect me much mentally. I have finished my master's degree last year, and never dated before I got a very high-paying job directly through campus placements. My parents immediately wanted me to get married after getting a job, but I wanted to work on myself and explore a bit. They said no, and I said that it was my wish. All my life I did what they wanted, and for the first time, when I talked against them, they were not happy. This was last year, and they gave up after COVID started. So I picked up some dating apps and went through them, but no luck. Then my parents introduced me to a family friend's daughter, and we clicked. Kinda looking back, I was a fool. She said yes to anything I said and never complained about anything. I felt kinda weird about it. I wanted her to express her interests, but she always said she was interested in whatever I do. Well, I did not think much about it. I said that I won't have kids ever, and she surprisingly said okay. I was like, damn, she's probably the one, as it is very hard to find a partner who is child-free in my country, or at least I thought. But we were in the initial stages, and I have not told about my accident. Long story short, we had snuggled a month ago. I used anti-babies because safety first. The next day on, she started ghosting me a bit. I thought it was due to my performance in bed and wanted to give her some space. Then she texted him frequently and only replied oaks and ks and one-line answers. I thought maybe she wanted to end the relation and was sad, but left it at that. Yesterday, all her family came to my house, and she claims she's pregnant, and the father is me. Needless to say, I freaked the fuck out and wanted to collapse on the ground. I did not say anything while they were talking about marriage and stuff that needs to happen because I got her pregnant. Please advise me on what steps to take now. Reddit update. Let me start off by saying I'm very, very grateful for all the Redditors who took their time to read and give me advice. I was overwhelmed by the amount of comments and how many of you said it might not even be my kid. Looking at it from a different perspective gave me much more insight on the whole situation. I called my boss and took today off. I called up some clinics to get tested and was given a slot on Friday afternoon. Then I went to the store and bought some pregnancy tests and asked only her to come to my place tomorrow. AITA today morning. I also called my parents, and before I said anything, my mom asked me if I had any good news. I was shocked by what she said and asked me what exactly she was talking about. She then played dumb, and I knew that the situation was more fucked that I thought. I cut the call and cried all night till 3 a.m. Grown-ass man crying for the first time since 8th class. She came today morning with her parents. Even after I told her to come alone, they were under the impression that I was gonna discuss engagement plans with them. I told them to wait outside and called her in, and they threw a fit. I told they can all go back or let her alone come in. They said okay. I took out the pregnancy tests and gave it to her and told her to prove that she was actually pregnant and told her where the bathroom was. She started screaming at me, never done this before. I was shocked at this. Then she went out the door and called her parents in. Now everyone is screaming at me in my own home because I asked her to prove the pregnancy, even a DNA test. I told them all to fuck off. And 1 hour later, my parents and they all came to my home and they spilled the beans. She was never actually pregnant. As many Redditors said, my parents were afraid that I was getting old for marriage and wanted me to marry and give them grandchildren. They said that in arranged marriages, no need for the people to actually get to know the spouse because parents choose only the best for their kids. They planned this all and were only waiting for me to have snuggling with her to do this. I broke down and cried again. All my life I did exactly what my parents wanted, always scored high and never asked for anything. I told them to get out and never talk to me again. In between crying, and they said parents know what's best for their kids, and I should do what they say. Then I got extremely angry and told them to frick themselves in my native language, which was very bad for once. I think they knew I was serious with them, and they all left. I blocked them all before sending my parents a message to never again contact me in my life, even if one of you is dying. Cried for some more time, went through some dog videos, and went through all my messages on Reddit, and I feel like I owe you guys this update, because it was you guys who helped me do this. That is all, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Someone sent my girlfriend video proof that I cheated on her, but I didn't. So, this last Friday, out of nowhere, my girlfriend started asking me these questions of, do you have something to tell me? So obviously I thought she was joking, cause she does those type of jokes just to mess with me. Turns out she wasn't joking, and after a long time of getting her to tell me what was happening, she told me. The title says it all. Someone, which I think is my ex F22, sent my girlfriend a video of some random guy getting a blowjob from her and told my girlfriend that she had something with me and felt bad that it happened, so decided to tell her by sending the video. Obviously my girlfriend was mad as hell and started flipping me off. I tried to tell her that it wasn't me, but apparently she recognizes my dick from the video, so that's all the proof she needs. Guess my dick is pretty common, thus let me tell you all, I'm not in that video. I've never been with someone else other than my girlfriend, and I would never think of being unfaithful to her. I just love her so much and wouldn't dare to do THST to her, cause I know how much that would hurt. Also, we are not that intimate, not because we don't wanna. She just has a lot of anxiety about it, which I don't really mind not doing anything snuggly. After all the back and forth of telling her it wasn't me, and that it was my ex that was trying to get us to break up, she told me she needed some time to think things out, and she wasn't feeling in the mood of talking with me, but that all the trust she had in me was gone. So she said goodnight, and that was it. On Saturday, I tried to send her a video so she could compare my peppy and the one showed in the video and see that they don't look the same. Also, not my face nor my voice appear on the video, but she doesn't want to see my peppy. I should have thought it was unsensitive first, that's my bad. I was too impulsive then. We went back and forth again and it didn't end in anything. Today, Sunday, I went ahead and did a list of things were enough proof that it wasn't me on the video. One, peppy size is different to peppy hair different. Last year had a kickboxing fight, so I had to shave to make weight, cause I'm very hairy. I have a lot, and the guy in the video doesn't have that much, but I pointed out my fight and the shaving thing just so she doesn't think I'm trying to make a quick excuse. And the fact that same night I had my fight, I went on a trip with my girlfriend's family and her, and that every day after that trip, walked her home after uni. We live 2 hours from uni, and we are there from 1 to 6 to 7, and then I went to my house. I did that every day. Still live with my parents BTW, so they wait for me to have dinner, and if I'm coming late, they call my girlfriend. Live in a pretty bad neighborhood, so I could possibly make time to go see someone. 3, I train at uni every Saturday, and after that I go to my girlfriend's or head back home. I always send her my location, just for safety reasons. 4, and on Sundays, I'm always at some family gathering or with my girlfriend's family having lunch. I thought it was pretty clear that I was the one in the video after I explained everything to her, but she still thinks I cheated on her and doesn't trust me anymore. We've been through a lot together, but we were always pushing through the bullshit, so this thing happening kinda fucks me over a lot. Cause I didn't even end in bad terms with my ex, just didn't talk anymore, and out of nowhere decided to frick up my relationship. I know it's her cause. I recognize the name in the pictures and video my girlfriend sent me. My girlfriend has told me that she would be with me, even if cheated on her, but I just don't want to do that to her. So, we are in this state in the relationship where we don't talk at all and get in arguments. I decided to wait just so she can calm down and think things right. But I just feel so anxious that I've been playing games and exercising all day. I'm sorry if my post isn't legible English. It's not my first language, but I decided to post it here, just so she couldn't find it cause she can't speak English. She didn't want anyone knowing about what happened and even made my delete some messages I sent to one of my friends that knows my ex because I couldn't find any of her accounts on social media.
My wife has lost a lot of weight. I want to make sure she is okay. So my wife has always been pretty average size. 5'7" 130 lbs-ish. I don't know 100% because we just don't talk about it, but has mentioned in the past. I do know. When I buy her clothes and I ask, she always said she was a size 6, if that helps. She was also always pretty strong, does massage therapy, and was really good at deep tissue. I mean, there are times when she has worked on me and it hurt. And I'm not a small guy. About 6 months ago she started changing things, not really eating junk food, and she joined some classes at the Yimka, yoga and some cardio. Since then, the weight has really fallen off her. I don't know exactly how much because the few times I've asked her she has said I don't know because I don't care to weigh myself. So I just drop it. But if I had to guess, I think she has lost at least 20–25 lbs, if not more. She seems healthy in terms of energy, and her skin has really cleared up. But I have noticed some other things. I was doing laundry, which I do a lot, and her jeans are now only size 0–2. Doing massage, she has to do her own sheets. And the other day, heard her really struggling to carry the bag of laundry up the stairs. Yes, it's a big bag, but never have I noticed that. And we've been together for years. I asked her if you okay with that, and she just said she needs a strong man to help her out, and started flirting and getting intimate with me. Is she changing the subject? Which leads me to my next point. Without too much info, she looks completely different. Without clothes, she had some curves etc. before, but now she's pretty much a figure like a ballerina. And she says she feels great, but I recently picked her up during the act, and it was literally like nothing. Another big thing I noticed was she worked on me again for massage last week, and all of the deep pressure she had before was gone. And I could tell she was really struggling. But if I bring it up, she gets defensive and tells me she feels better than ever, and I should be happy for her, which I am. I just worry and don't know what to do. The final straw here was our dog, who likes to walk underneath our legs all the time and nudge her head up, and has done so since she was a puppy. Literally lifted my wife off the ground last night. My wife laughed about it like it was funny, but I was alarmed. Our dog is part Mastiff, we think, and about 85–90 lbs. But still, that has never happened before. I just don't know how to approach her. Every time I have, she shuts it down. I know she still gets her period, and she does eat with me, just no junk food. She's never eaten big portions, and those haven't changed. But the snacks afterwards are. Only me now. I can't blame someone for wanting to be healthy, but I just want to make sure she's okay. Update: we talked this weekend, and I took a lot of the advice and came a place of concern, and it definitely helped. First and foremost, she responded positively and agreed to go get checked out. I was pretty close on the amount of weight loss. She is actually a little less than I thought, but the important thing is she agreed to go get checked out. And since I always skip my checkups, I agreed to get one too. So a big step for both of us. She also explained to me that before we met, she was closer to the weight she is now than what she was, and this is where she feels best. I definitely won't dismiss that either. I'm glad. She responded positively and continued to reassure. She feels the best she's felt in years and will be happy to go to the docs.
My dad's girlfriend is trying to get rid of me. My mom passed away 5 years ago, and I think of her every day. My dad went through a really bad depression, and I had to take care of myself basically. During the Christmas holidays, my dad told me that he had been seeing someone for a while. I noticed that he was happier, and I guess I was happy for him. I didn't want him to be lonely forever, but I did feel like my mom was being erased completely. He never wanted to talk about her, and he got rid of all pictures with her in them. He said that his girlfriend will be spending Christmas with us and then moving in. I wasn't happy at all. I don't even know her, but I didn't say anything. I met her on Christmas, and usually my dad and I put the star on the tree that day. We would put the star on the tree and watch The Grinch. It's our tradition, and we kept it even when we were grieving my mom. It's the only tradition from when she was with us that we actually kept. When his girlfriend came over, he put the star on with her while I was in the bathroom. Also, we didn't watch The Grinch because she hates it. I know I sound spoiled and childish, but I was so angry. We've been doing this my whole life, and she just came in and destroyed it. The whole night, she didn't even bother getting to know me at all. She was all over my dad and pretty much ignored me. I told my dad about how upset I was about our tradition, and he said I should grow up and that things change. I didn't like her because she gave me a bad feeling, so I never got close to her. She complained to my dad about it, and he got mad at me for not making her feel welcomed. I felt bad because she makes my dad really happy, so I tried being more friendly with her. In front of my dad, she was nice to me, but when we were alone, she ignored me or spoke to me with attitude. She even told me that I was a brat and I make my dad's life harder. I told him, but he didn't believe me and yelled at me for trying to sabotage his relationship. He said that I wanted him to die alone and be sad, and that I was selfish. I was so shocked because none of it is true. My dad basically treated me like I wasn't there at all. After that, I felt like I did when my mom died, all alone. I stayed up really late one night because I just couldn't sleep and wanted to sneak in a midnight snack. The girlfriend was in the kitchen on FASA time, so I decided to be nosy and listen. She was talking about my dad and how much she loves him. Then she said that he had this dumb daughter, and she wondered if it was too late for adoption. Her and her friend laughed at that. She said that I was a little bitch, and she hated me. Her friend then said something about boarding school or military school, but I left, so I didn't hear the rest. Was so exhausted from all the crying I did, so I actually slept. I didn't tell my dad, and I don't even know if I should since he probably won't believe me. I really miss my mom. I kinda want to go live with my grandparents' mom's parents now, but I don't want my dad to think that I'm leaving him. What do I do? Can I even do anything? How do I get my dad to listen to me? Would I be wrong for leaving? Update: Hi. Since my last post, I spoke to my grandparents and told them everything. I asked if I could stay with them if I wanted to, and they agreed. I then spoke to my dad again and tried to tell him how I felt and what I had heard. I didn't want to film or record because I knew that he would be mad at that and wouldn't listen. He didn't believe me again and thought that I was jealous of having to share him with someone else. I got upset and told him that I was leaving so he could live happily ever after, without the burden of having me around. He looked shocked but didn't say anything. I had already packed my bags and had brought some things to my grandparents' house already. My dad didn't speak to me for the rest of the day. My grandfather picked me up, and I've been there since. I haven't gone home, and I haven't heard from my dad. My grandparents told me that they would handle my dad, and that I shouldn't have to be the one doing it. I'm upset that my dad hasn't called or texted me once to see if I'm okay. At the same time, I'm feeling so much better being with my grandparents. My grandmother is probably the sweetest person ever, and my grandfather is a little rough around the edges, but he's really a softie.